Hello and welcome to HW News. The voting in Bihar Assembly Elections has concluded, and over the span of the last 10 days, around 7.3 crore voters braved the threat of the coronavirus pandemic to decide the fate of thousands of candidates who are in fray for 243 seats in Bihar Assembly. So as the voting for the third and final phase has closed, the wait is now on for the results on November 10th. But what you can expect on the result day, the exit polls are giving a hint of it. Let's talk about what exactly the exit polls are saying. Let us quickly go to what Republic TV and Jan Ki Baat is saying in the exit polls. Apparently, Grand Alliance is getting a clean sweep in the Republic TV Jan Ki Baat exit poll. Grand Alliance will get 138 to 118 seats. That is what is being projected in Republic TV Jan Ki Baat exit poll. For NDA, they are predicting 91 to 117 seats, and for others, they are predicting 6 to 3 seats, which includes, I guess, LJP as well. For the others, it includes LJP as well. So, NDA 91 to 117, Grand Alliance, which is RJD, Congress and the left parties including, they will get anything between 118 to 138, and others, which I guess includes LJP as well, will get anything between 3 to 6 seats. A clean sweep for Grand Alliance. Let me tell you that magic figure for Bihar Assembly elections is 122, and in that, according to Republic TV Jan Ki Baat exit poll, Grand Alliance is getting 118 to 138 seats. Now let's talk about what vote shares are they talking about in the exit polls. According to this particular exit poll, NDA will get vote share between 37% to 9%. Grand Alliance, that is RJD, Congress and left parties, will get vote share between 40 to 43%. LJP will get vote share between 7 to 9%. And other parties like the left, like the third front that was created by RLSP and Sharad Yadav, etc., they will get anything between 11% to 14%. So this is what the vote share Republic TV and Jan Ki Baat exit poll is talking about. NDA once again 37 to 39%, Grand Alliance 40 to 43%, LJP is 7 to 9% and others 11 to 14%. Let's quickly go on to TV9 Bharatvarsh. What exactly TV9 Bharatvarsh is saying? For BJP, they are predicting 70 to 75 seats. And overall for NDA, they are predicting 110 to 120 seats. And for Grand Alliance, they are predicting 115 to 125 seats. If we talk about party-wise numbers, then for BJP, they are predicting 70 to 75. Now, this is an increase for the BJP from the last tally that was in 2015 when elections were held in 2015 for Assembly. BJP had got 53 seats, and now the exit poll for TV9 Bharatvarsh is predicting 70 to 75 seats to BJP. For RJD it is 90 to 95 seats, and for JDU it is 35 to 40 seats. Clearly RJD is emerging as the single largest party in this particular exit poll. Congress will get anything between 15 to 20. LJP is projected to get anything, any number between 3 to 5, and others significantly, particularly in TV9 Bharatvarsh exit poll, others are getting anything between 20 to 33 seats. So there will be a lot of impetus on other parties, other independent candidates, smaller parties as well, if we go by TV9 Bharatvarsh exit poll. Let's quickly go to NewsX exit poll. Now this particular exit poll is average of all the other exit polls. We will talk about this. In this particular polls of poll, or we can say average of other exit polls, NDA is getting 112 seats, Grand Alliance is getting 122 seats, LJP is getting 3 seats and others are getting 6 seats. So eventually, even if we see in this particular exit poll, Grand Alliance is leading, and this is what all the other exit polls are also saying, that Grand Alliance has maintained a significant lead over the NDA as per the exit poll. Now let me tell you that opinion polls, if we look at the opinion polls, what they said before the election, it was heavily leaning towards the NDA. The opinion polls had said that there will be a clean sweep for the NDA for the JDU plus JDU, BJP and other parties that are in alliance with them. But the exit polls present a completely reverse picture, completely contradictory picture to that, and they are saying that Grand Alliance will get a significant lead over the NDA. Let's go to Times Now and See Voter. Times Now and See Voter is saying that Grand Alliance will get 120 seats, NDA will get 116 seats and others will get 7 seats. If we go by party wise, then RJD is projected to get 85 seats, JDU is projected to get 42 seats, BJP is projected to get 70 seats, Congress is projected to get 25 seats, left party significantly in this particular exit poll, it is said that left parties may get 10 seats, LJP 0, and the HAM of Jitan Ram Manjhi will get 2 seats and VIP of Mukesh Sahni will also get 2 seats. So these are the two smaller parties that will get 2 seats. Eventually the smaller parties last time around also they had got only 2 seats. Now let's talk about ABP and See Voter. Apparently See Voter had done a survey for ABP as well and for Times Now as well. So let's look at the numbers that they presented in collaboration with ABP. Grand Alliance will get anything between 108 and 131. NDA will get anything between 104 and 128 and others will get anything between 4 to 8. Now if we go party wise, RJD is projected to get any number between 81 to 89, JDU will get any number between 38 to 46, BJP 66 to 74, Congress 21 to 29 and left parties 6 to 13. LJP, however, in the ABP See Voter survey is projected to get any number between 1 to 3. The Hindustan Awam Morcha of Jitan Ram Manjhi may get anything between 0 to 4 and VIP will get anything between 0 to 4. So crux of the matter here is, according to the average of all the polls, the Grand Alliance will get more than 120 seats. That is, according to the average, it is projected to be 122. And if we talk about the NDA, then the average of polls says that NDA will get 112 seats. LJP and other smaller parties, they are not getting that much of seats. They will be restricted to only single digit. LJP, however, is projected to get anything between 1 to 4 and other parties will get anything between 6 to 10. So this is what the scenario looks like. This is what the exit polls say. What exactly the scenario is, what exactly the numbers will be, that we will get to know on November 10th. But this gives us a hint as to what we can expect on the day of the results. We are joined by our managing editor, Mr. Sujit Nair. We will also go to him and we will talk to him about the numbers. The numbers are out, sir, and the numbers project that Grand Alliance will take a lead over NDA. This was not what was expected at all, especially when the opinion polls had come out.
Aarti, this is one very, very important thing that we need to understand. The fact that this time around, Bihar voted for development. This time around, Bihar voted for jobs. This time around, Bihar voted for the way their migrant workers were treated. So Bihar definitely voted for development. This is more so a vote against the Chief Minister, Nitish Kumar, rather than voting for somebody. You know, it was not so much so voting for Tejashwi Yadav, which I have been constantly saying. It has been a vote which is possibly against Nitish Kumar. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, of course, one should hand it over to Tejashwi Yadav because he did a fabulous job. He drew crowd. His speech, he acted very matured. His crowd interaction was fabulous. What he promised was whatever, 10 lakhs, whether he can deliver that 10 lakh job or he cannot deliver that 10 lakh job, that is yet to be seen. But he promised, he interacted, he connected. So he did a fabulous job. 10 out of 10 marks for him. Now that being said, like you rightly say, this is still exit polls. See, Aarti, polls give you a direction. It doesn't give you the exact numbers. It gives you a direction, and you should always have that 10-15% buffer. So as of now, the direction is that it's a Grand Alliance that's going to take away the Bihar government, and that is this is a complete mandate for development. This is a complete mandate for jobs. This is completely, it has got nothing to do with communal this time. There is no communal element, there is no caste element. This is 100% a vote given for development.
Well, if we talk about pure numbers, last time around, as I said, RJD had won 80 seats. Now, if you look at the numbers that exit polls are predicting this time around, it is also which is near to 80, 85, 90. This is what the numbers are predicting. JDU last time around had got 71 seats, but this time around they have reduced to 40 to 42 seats. This is what the exit polls are saying, and the BJP has taken a significant lead. Last time around, BJP had got 53 seats, and this time around, it is being projected that BJP will get 70 plus seats. So, do you think that RJD has maintained its seat count? The Congress has also kind of maintained its seat count, because last time around it had 127 seats, and this time around it is being said that they will win anything between 25 to 30. So, let us assume that they will win 25 seats according to the average. So, the RJD and the Congress party have maintained their number of seats, but what we are seeing is that JDU has reduced, and BJP has taken a significant lead in the numbers. Well, we had a connection issue with Mr. Sujit Nair, so let us continue with the numbers. As I said, last time around, it was Mahagathbandhan between RJD, JDU and the Congress party. So, RJD had won 80 seats, the maximum number of seats. It was the single largest party, and it was in alliance with JDU and the Congress as well. Last time around, Nitish Kumar was in alliance with Lalu Prasad Yadav, and this was a Mahagathbandhan. He was the chief ministerial candidate for the Mahagathbandhan, and they were contesting against BJP. So, this is what the overall scenario was last time around, and they had won 178 seats. And it was a speculation, it was an analysis that because RJD and JDU were contesting together, JDU could get 71 seats. So, this is what the scenario looks like. Mr. Nair has joined us once again. Sir, as I said, RJD last time around had got 80 seats. This time around also they have maintained similar seat count, 80 to 85. This is what the average looks like. JDU last time around they had got 71 seats in 2015, but this time exit polls say that the tally may be reduced to 40 plus or something between 40 to 50. The Congress last time had received at least 27 seats. This time around also it is between 25 to 30. The BJP, however, seems to be the one who is the gainer over here, real gainer over here, because last time BJP had got 53 seats. This time around, it is projected to get anything which is above 70.
See, Aarti, remember what we spoke about? The anti-incumbency is completely resting on Nitish Kumar. It has not affected BJP, it has not affected Modi. People are not angry with Modi. I mean, that why, how, I don't know. But people are not angry with Modi. We even spoke that when, Prashnam had projected that, opinion polls. That ultimately BJP was going to gain. That was for sure. And somewhere down the line, entire blame of whatever has happened in Bihar went on Nitish's head. And that is what the results is showing. Now, the fact remains, let's see, nobody has done much better. Anyways, if you go to see, last time RJD did 82. How much are they predicting now?
Last time RJD had got 80 seats. This time around, it is being projected that anything between 80 to 90.
80 to 90. See, yes. Actually, the only party who has done exceptionally well is BJP. If you actually go to see, the only party which has exceptionally done well is BJP. The only party that has done exceptionally bad is the JDU. Okay, and rest everybody did something very similar to what they did last time. What Congress is doing is what they did last time.
Correct.
What RJD is doing maybe a little more than what they did last time. So the party that actually did exceptionally is the Bharatiya Janata Party. But ironically, it is. I don't think they will if this is true and if one has to believe the exit polls, they will not be making the government.
The LJP, it was being said that it will make a serious dent to JDU, but it seems like even the exit polls are not giving that much impetus to LJP.
BJP was, I remember again, Aarti, I'm kind of saying, always kind of reminding you of things. But remember, we spoke this afternoon that LJP cannot be a strategy of BJP.
Correct. Yes.
See, LJP was not a major player. LJP was not supposed to get 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 seats like people predicted. LJP has got some pockets in Bihar. Yes, people expected it to get a little more because of Mr. Ram Vilas Paswan's demise and possibly the sympathy vote, therefore going to his son. To that extent, yes. But beyond that, I don't think there was anything left. So LJP being a strategic placement of BJP and all were all conspiracy theories. LJP went, they damaged JDU to a certain extent and helped the RJD. And here you are. So to that extent, if you actually go to see, I don't know, maybe that extra 10 seats that RJD is getting than what they got last year is possibly thanks to LJP.
Correct.
So this is where it all stands.
Okay.
See, nothing is surprising. Nothing is surprising.
But
That's
if you
the good part
remember,
of the exit polls.
during the opinion polls, when the opinion polls came about, especially even 2 or 3 months back, what we saw in the opinion polls was a feeling, what the ground feeling was on the ground, that there is no other party than JDU. Even if there was anti-incumbency, the pollsters had said that the NDA will get a clean sweep. But this time around, the picture has completely changed. Do you think that it was the credit for it goes to Tejashwi Yadav? 217 rallies that he did in Bihar, the highest rallies.
I can't hear you.
Well, I was speaking about what exactly the opinion polls had spoken about before the voting took place. The opinion polls had said that there was a completely clean sweep for the NDA, but I guess we have a network issue once again with Mr. Nair. But as I said, the opinion polls had predicted that it was a complete sweep for the NDA, but looks like the exit polls don't agree with it, and the mood has completely changed on the ground, as we saw even during the first, second and third phase. We told you what the people on the ground were talking about. Everywhere our reporters went, people were talking about the major issue of the state were unemployment. There was a recruitment problem going on. The floods was a major issue in this time around as well, and these were the issues that Tejashwi Yadav was talking about all along in his rallies. As per the data that is provided in the various reports, in various news reports, Tejashwi Yadav conducted more than 210 rallies, campaign rallies for RJD. And if we talk about Narendra Modi, if we talk about Prime Minister Modi, for the NDA, he did at least 12 rallies. So Mr. Nair has joined us once again. Sir, as I was saying, opinion polls and exit polls, there is a complete polar different results.
See, I personally thought that the opinion polls were somewhere not correct. It was not actually indicating what the truth was. I thought at least for sure that the opinion polls were not pretty correct. But the fact remains that also one has to understand that the actual mood of the people started off last 15 days. The actual pro Tejashwi, when the first rally that he had conducted,
Correct.
And the amount of people that came to kind of receive him, that showed the mood of the people. That set the tone for the election, Aarti. And I think that is when Bihar actually started talking about what then, who they are going to vote. That first rally itself shook the entire nation. And possibly after that, a lot of us in hushed tones were saying that, possibly this is going to be a game changer and Tejashwi may rule the roost in this particular election. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at the public support that he got. Look at the kind of, people that turned out, even with this pandemic and all of that. Look at the kind of people that turned out. So it was fabulous. Another very, very good, very, very good, I think, few good strategic moves that Tejashwi did. The good strategic moves that they did was is that he kept, that that proposition which was supposed to, which was being so vociferously propagated, to keep away the Jungle Raj thing. He didn't play much of Lalu Prasad in his campaign.
Correct.
He played very less of Lalu Prasad in his campaign. Okay, so that kept away the Jungle Raj thing. Secondly, he didn't allow his brother to play a major role, Tej Pratap. Okay, while he was there in the campaign, he had to, because otherwise, he had to also hold on to the party. But the fact remains that Tej Pratap also didn't play much of the
role in the overall campaigning for the party. He was only restricted to his constituency.
I beg your pardon? I'm sorry, I can't hear you properly, Aarti.
Tej Pratap was restricted to only his constituency, that was Hasanpur, but overall, if you see, it was only Tejashwi Yadav who was conducting rallies.
Absolutely, because he didn't want by any chance for anybody to spread any kind of rumor that Tej Pratap may also be a stake, may claim a stake in the Chief Minister's chair. So he kept Tej Pratap out, he kept even Lalu Prasad to a certain extent, that to save himself from the Jungle Raj imagery, he kept Mr. Lalu Prasad out. So Lalu Prasad, Tej Pratap and Tejashwi did a fabulous job. Like I said, again, I started with that. I'm saying that again. He connected with people very well. He spoke very well. He understood the pulse of the people. So he did everything, possibly everything, what he did right. So yeah, if he gets this, I think he deserves it.
I'll once again reiterate that in 2015, RJD had received 80 seats. RJD had won 80 seats, and that time around, Lalu Prasad Yadav was very much active in the campaigning. If with Lalu Prasad Yadav, RJD got 80 seats, and this time around, Lalu Prasad Yadav was not there. He is in jail. So the entire campaigning, the entire burden of the campaigning, entire responsibility of the campaigning was on Tejashwi Yadav. He was fighting the internal rebellion by the senior leaders, by the leaders who were of age of Lalu Prasad Yadav. They were not happy with his leadership, his decision. He was fighting with his family members. Meesa Bharti and Tej Pratap Yadav were not happy with his decisions. What happened in Lok Sabha, there was a debacle in Lok Sabha as well. So after that, there was a lot of rebellion that he faced. But even after this, if the exit polls are saying that 80 seats are going to be what RJD is going to receive in this election, then do you think that it's a huge achievement for a person who is handling the entire party for the first time, alone, all alone?
Aarti, you also need to understand, there's one more very important thing that we need to understand. This is the first time in 45 years, that Lalu Prasad Yadav and Ram Vilas Paswan were not there on ground for campaigning.
Correct.
In a Bihar election. So it was the first time. Secondly, possibly it was the first time where campaigns were run by their sons, Tejashwi Yadav and Chirag Paswan. Also, this was the first time that these young people were leading campaigns. Aarti, they had never led campaigns before. They had possibly, fought elections, but they had never led a campaign. This was first time they were actually leading a campaign. So a lot of first times here, and a lot of, I think, hats off to these youngsters. They did a fabulous job for a first timer. Of course, one also needs to understand that there was no much active involvement of Amit Shah in this election too. So that also possibly we should mention in the same breath.
Well, Tejashwi then kept his entire focus on economic justice. Wherever he went, he was talking about the 10 lakh job promise. This was the, this feature of campaigning, this pattern of campaigning we had earlier seen during BJP's campaigns, repeating same thing again and again, to a point that people start believing that this is going to happen and this is what the promise is. reiterating it to a point that people identify the entire election with that particular promise, with that particular issue. Do you think that it was a very, it was a success of Tejashwi Yadav as far as communication was concerned?
Like I said, he did everything right, Aarti. He did everything right. He spoke development. He spoke right. Remember, Aarti, first day we said the major issue in Bihar was that of jobs. Job was a big issue. Economy was a big issue. Resurrecting people who have come back because of reverse migration, big issue. So it was more of a economic and developmental issue. And as far as jobs are concerned, it was the youth that were actually really looking out for a job, because it was affecting them more than anybody else. And possibly Tejashwi resonated with the youth. Tejashwi resonated with the youth much more than an older Nitish Kumar. So that changed. It will be very interesting to note as to the percentage of voters, in terms of age-wise, that came out today to vote. So it will be a very interesting data to know. So the fact remains that Tejashwi definitely resonated with the youth, and the youth voted for Tejashwi big time, I presume, and that, I think, the numbers will say that.
Okay, one last question before we end this. The exit polls are very clear. They are giving a clear lead to Grand Alliance, and NDA is trailing, but the margin is very thin. So do you think that there could be some changes in that? There could be some difference in that, in the exact amount, that exact numbers that will come out on November 10th?
Aarti, you'll have to repeat your question. I'm sorry, I was not able to hear it.
Well, I was talking about that the lead that Grand Alliance has over NDA is very thin. So what do you think? Will that number change when the exact numbers will come out on November 10th?
Oh yes. It could change both ways. It could change. It could also be that Grand Alliance gets much more numbers than what they are shown. Much more, like 10-20% more numbers what we are being shown. Or it could be that NDA would see, the direction is what we should take from polls. Polls does not give you numbers, for which we'll have to wait for the counting, and we'll have to wait for the final number to come. Polls gives you a direction, and if you go by this, the direction is that Grand Alliance is going to win. That is the direction that it's showing us. Now there are a lot more that happens. Now what is also interesting is others and LGP are not having some that major numbers which can turn the tables here and there. Correct. Of course, but all this Samikaran and all this, we'll have to wait till the polls are till the results are announced. But yeah, the direction seems to be Grand Alliance, and the reason is it is not very surprising either.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Well, so that's what we said. The exit polls are just a trailer of what awaits us on November 10th. What exactly is the scenario in Bihar? Who exactly Bihar is vying for? Where exactly is Bihar leading? That we will get to know on November 10th itself. Stay tuned to SW News. Till then, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page as well.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest